So the other day, I realised that it was about a year ago that I left my first job. And by left, I mean fired. Now, I don't know if the rules are the same in other countries, but in the UK, once you turn 16, you can get a job. And once you turn 16, your parents ask you every single fucking day if you've looked for a job. And at this point, I had my channel. I think I was even making really terrible gaming videos or montage parodies. And I was earning like £50 a month off it. So obviously, I didn't need a job because I was fucking balling. But my parents weren't having any of it. So when I was like 17, I think, I applied for a job at a supermarket that I'm not going to name. You know, just in case they send their boys around my house to cave in my skull. But I had a phone interview with them and they pretty much told me to fuck off. So that was a good start. After that, I didn't really go job hunting. I mean, I tried and failed. But then one day my mum came home and said she put my name in for a job. And it was at like a cafe and a gym. She said it was a front of house job. If you don't know what a front of house job is, it's pretty much where you like take people's orders and serve them and shit like that. So I was like, that sounds pretty decent. And I ended up getting an interview. And in the interview, they said they actually weren't looking for front of house staff, but they're looking for a kitchen assistant instead. And they said that while I'm a kitchen assistant, they're going to train me up to be a chef. So I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. Man's going to be a chef. Anyway, I had a couple of interviews and they liked me, so I got the job. And I was like genuinely excited to start this job. Like, it sounded fucking lit. So before I could start the job, I had to sign a contract and all that stuff. And I swear, somewhere in the contract, it says something along the lines of, you can't chat shit about the company until 6 months after your contract's termination. Obviously, it didn't say it in them words, but I swear it said something very similar to that. So anyway, I started my first day, and one of the first things I got told was that I had to wear a uniform, and I just thought, fair enough. But the thing is, the uniform was like these overalls that were way too big for me. Like, I think they had one medium, and all the rest were like large and extra large. So as soon as I got in, I had to quickly nab that medium, and even the medium was fucking massive. Right, so the head chef was teaching me how to cut up vegetables and that, and she was like guiding my hands to teach me, even though I was like, fam, I fucking know how to cut up vegetables. I did food tech in year 9. I'm pretty much an expert. But while she was doing this, I could feel this fucking razor sharp knife slicing into my finger. So at this point, I was like, you're cutting into my finger. And she was like, no, I'm not. And I was just like, oh, okay. And after she finishes like teaching me, she sees that there's a fair bit of blood coming out my finger. Like, I've probably made this sound way more dramatic than it actually was. Like, it was just a tiny cut on my hand, but still, it fucking hurt. Anyway, you guys are probably wondering how and why I got fired. Did I steal some food? Did I start a fight with a customer? No, in honesty, I'm still not too sure why I got fired. I was only there for like a month and a half. Anyway, one morning I come in for my shift, I go and stand in the kitchen and do my usual thing of loading the dishwasher. But then my boss came in and he asked to speak to me in his office. So I go in there and he starts asking me questions like, how do you think you're doing? And I was just like, yeah, I think I'm doing good. And slowly the questions got more and more difficult. And then he starts talking about terminating my contract. So I was like, oh fuck. Even though I didn't like the job, it still gave me a fair amount of money each month. So I asked him why he would fire me. Like, I'd done fuck all wrong. He said that I was always late, which wasn't true. I was a couple minutes late maybe once or twice, but that's about it. And then he said another reason was because I wasn't enthusiastic enough. Like, mate, what do you want me to do? I spend all day loading a fucking dishwasher. How are you supposed to enthusiastically load a dishwasher? And it doesn't help that I was like sectioned off from the rest of the kitchen. So for most of the day, I didn't have anyone to talk to. I was just standing there on my own. And also my boss hardly ever came into the kitchen. So I had no idea how he knew I was being unenthusiastic. So then after I answer a couple questions, he asked for me to wait outside. So I just went back to the kitchen for a bit. And about 10 or 15 minutes later, he comes in and tells me to go to his office. So I go in, I sit down, and he goes, we've decided to terminate your contract as you've proven to us that we don't need you. And at the time, I just thought to myself, oh, that's a bit fucking rude that. But yeah, I got fired. That was fun.